I'm live. Waiting for old people to show up, quite frankly, but I am live. Also waiting for my computer to wake up because it's old and it's cranky. Let me just turn on the light. Ooh. That's better. Oh, my computer is thinking so hard right now. It's a matter of time before this dang thing dies. Mm. Make date night movie night. Cozy up for movie night. What the? Weird. Get another server up here. Okay, the internet says there are people watching. Anyone out there? I'm having my bitter melon gourd tea. I just got home from work. Yassine, big fan from Kashmir. Do you know that the average Californian doesn't know what the word Kashmir means? Valentine, no peeing there. Oh, sorry about that. My cat. Joe, Richard, do you remember me from high school? Um. Uh. You'd have to tell me which Joe you are. Yassine, you can't free Palestine. You cannot free something by giving it up to a tyrannical government like Hamas. That's not how Palestine works. That and, I mean, Palestine was a state in the English Empire. Tristram Smith. What's up, Richard? I had 10 viewers today. I was hoping you would join the giveaway. Bro, I was at work. Um, Flosky, did you vote Trump? No, I did not vote for Shitting Bull. If you knew anything about me, you would know that that's my nickname for Donnie. What is going on with this thing? For some reason, my mouse keeps sticking. Yassine, where are you from, brother? I'm from California. Hence why I said, did you know most Californians don't know what Kashmir is? Christian Smith, how was work, man? Do you have a set schedule? I don't know if I have a set schedule. I have 5 days a week now, plus a second job. So, I mean, I'm picking up hours. Sorry for the caps. I'm playing a game. Well, yeah, bro, you're always playing Minecraft. Yazim, what about the fire? The fire is pretty much under control at this point. Chester the Hot Fry, I got the one hand jam going on, playing with one and thinking about your mom gonna make a mess. Your mom is very good listener and swallower. Bro, my mother died like 35 years ago. I mean, Chester the Hot Fry, you apparently like desecrated corpses? You're one messed up dude, bro. Tristram Smith, no, I am playing a different game, RN. Want to see? I guess, bro. The gospel save. Hey, do you believe in Jesus? Uh, you mean the Rabbi Yeshua, who was the rightful king of Israel? Yes, I believe he existed. Uh, my cats are always so much more affectionate when they want something. Yassine, yes, I'm Jewish and not stupid. Okay, if I'm not supporting Israel, I'm supporting people who want to kill me. Okay, so I believe, yes, this is your Twitch, right, Tristan? What's up? Okay, the gospel saves John 3:36. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. I have seen the wrath of man beateth on him, and I have seen you Christians do terrible things to my people. The gospel save. I had no idea you're Jewish. I was just curious. You know, at one of the stores I often go to, there is a very religious woman who is convinced I'm a Christian because of my great knowledge of the Bible, which isn't that great. What was that, Tristan? Couldn't hear you, bro. So I am something of a religious scholar. Something of. I mean, not really, but when I worked with the homeless, I found many of them being religious. Tristan, I wish to send you some meats. What do you mean by send me some meats, Tristan? Dude, your sound is on. You can just talk to me. Tristan, can you hear me? Sounds kind of like you're mumbling. I guess you don't have your microphone on. Okay, yeah, it's a little hard to hear you, bro. Okay, so he can hear me. It's hard for me to hear him. But this is, if you guys want to also tune into Tristan's Twitch, he is Zone Ing. Zonig. Or Z0NIG.
Hello? Oh, you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
I don't know why it was turned all the way down. There's my
I think it auto does that, bro. So what do you mean by sending me meats?
Hey, Richard, so I'm going to be talking to the game. Well, I would like to send you some exotic meats for you to try in the video. I think that would be cool to watch. And my comment earlier, I don't know if you saw it, but my comment earlier was I want you to go more in depth. Like when you do a video, you have the pictures that you've taken in the background. But
Uh-huh.
no one knows what those are. You know what I'm saying? So what if when you started the video, you were like, this picture behind me is a picture I took in 2011 or whenever, and this is what I did, and this is where it was, and
Um,
yada yada. And you can find it on your website. You know what I'm
the
saying?
the truth is,
I think you could
Tristan,
add that to your videos, and that would be cool.
the truth is that I choose the picture after I make the video. And I mean, I generally just pick random pictures. And the reason for that is that the backgrounds felt really boring to me. I mean, I took
Got you. I got you.
some of
I
my
closed it
false
out so you
colors.
can make the video.
I took some of my false colors and I made them into backgrounds. And then I figured I needed backgrounds that were unique to each channel, so I started to.
Ooh!
Fade has returned. Yassine, one day you will be the biggest YouTuber in California. Somehow I doubt that.
Hey, sorry, Richard. I got into the game. I'll turn myself down.
So what does Fade have to say? Yassine, he'll never become popular. He's an expert and doesn't listen to positive criticism from his audience that are trying to help him improve. Fade, you're not a positive influence on anyone. I think even the Baron Harkonnen himself became more rotten with your presence.
Whoa! There's one little.
This is the Wolfie Tale, this is the Wolfie Tale, this is the Wolfie Tale.
So, Richard, this game is called Counter Strike,
I've heard of it.
and this is a first-person shooter. It's like Fortnite and Call of Duty mixed together.
Okay, Fortnite and Call of Duty mixed together doesn't mean anything to me, bro. Last time I played a first person shooter, I think it was Duke Nukem. God, I'm old. The Gospel Saves. Genuinely curious because I don't consider myself a scholar at all. How do you get heaven? Um, the Gospel Save. Do you know how you get to heaven in Christianity? Because we Jews are good people because we're good people. We're not exactly promised heaven. I mean, it does say in the Old Testament that the divine race came down and took wives of man, and it's like, yes, okay, so there's a divine race, but I actually don't think we get to join them when we die.
Hey, there's only one way to get to heaven, Richard. That's believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. That's how Christians think it is, man.
Yeah, well, I
The only
mean,
thing you got to do is believe in Jesus Christ. That He came, died for your sins, and rose on the third day. That's it. That's all you
well,
got to
yeah,
do.
but you also have to be a genuine Christian, and that's pretty hard. Fade, Lowell, you do understand that I'm not the fictional character Fade Rutha Raban Harkonnen. Raban Fade. No! You're not Raban. You're that skinny twink dude that the Baron keeps creeping on. The gospel saves Christianity. Yeah, you just believe the gospel. I see that you for being kind. You know, the gospel save. I was once talking to a nun about the Bible, and she said she really didn't know um, much about the Bible, which confused me because she was a nun, and I was literally making a donation to this nun to go to an orphanage in TJ. So here I am going through a nun to feed orphans, and she goes, "Well, I don't read the Bible." So Christians confuse me. I have met many a Christian and said, "You know, you should read this book about Jews. It's called the Bible." Fade. Rich, you seem to have trouble with understanding that fiction isn't real. Dude, it's called a joke, Fade. And you don't want that joke stop going by Fade. Grumpy Cat. Hey, Richard, I just came to say hello from the Balkans. Cool.
Yeah. Dude.
Where exactly are the Balkans? We don't do well with geography in America. Our education stinks. They're in Europe. Okay.
They're long. Three long. Outside
Raban is the last name of the offshoot house. Raban's first name is Glasso. Mm,
Dude, F purple.
Yeah, dude.
I
Purple is
couldn't
a bad player.
When I wanted to peek, I couldn't peek because I got flashed.
Yeah.
see here.
I think I'm just gonna buy a flash with flash like nonstop.
I now have mother and child on my lap.
Forget when this game. I'm gonna make sure he gets flash nonstop.
We should be winning this game. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
His name is Glasso. And Raban is apparently not Russian either.
Richard, do you like my background and stuff? It took me like 2 hours to get
Ah! Ah! Oh, looks cool. Bear got on my keyboard, and now he's screwing up my, Bear, why must you do that? The gospel saves. Haha, Catholics are silly. I don't want to bother you too much, but I believe the law is a curse and Jesus lifts us from the curse.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Need help?
Deuteronomy 27:26. Cursed be. Stop it, Bear. Bear!
Just one more. One more, one more, one more. Where you go?
Oh. Okay, Deuteronomy. Bear, you've done it again. Deuteronomy 27:26. Cursed be he that confirmeth not all the word of this law to do, and all the people shall say amen. Um, okay. The gospel saves. The Bible does issue at some point a mandate that the laws of man should not be stricter than the Bible. Hence why a Christian is technically not permitted to get drunk, but permitted to drink. That's wolf or bear's butt. Bear. And I actually do follow the don't get drunk rule for the most part. But one of the problems that Christians tend to have is that they don't understand the nature of sin. Which, if you do read Jesus' words, he does say that the sin lives in your heart, and that therefore the only method of redemption is repentance because sin is inevitable. So if you're a Christian and you don't believe in the right to choose, for example, for abortion, you're not a real Christian because a Christian believes that the desire to have the abortion and the plan to have the abortion is the sin. Okay, Fade. What has Fade got to say? So, instead of treating people like people, you want to dehumanize them and you don't have acknowledge the legitimate people who don't agree with. Glosso Beast Raban. Okay, Fade. One, he was referred to as the Beast Raban. And secondly, by taking on the name of a fictional character, you are dehumanizing yourself. And you've never exactly been polite. The gospel saves. Ah, just a little baby. Yes, sin is transgression of the law. Yes, but again, the point about sin is its inevitability and the fact that only repentance can free the soul or the spirit from sin. The soul, incidentally, cannot be freed from sin. It says that when someone repents, their spirit is renewed, but not their soul. Romans 3:28. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without deeds of the law. I believe repent of your sin is a false gospel. Yeah, okay. Well, once again, dude, one of the things I have said is name all seven archangels because the Bible only names three. Bear, you've really screwed this up. You know that, right? Fade. I like a fictional name, so I use it as a screen name, and that means I'm dehumanizing. Yes, that does. Fade. I'm using my real legal name, so I am presenting myself as a real person without putting a screen in front of me to pretend I'm someone else. You're using somebody else's picture, you're using somebody else's name. You know, one of the things we do is we try to put a name and a face on a crime so people understand that there's a human behind it. It's like with Trump's detention plan, commonly people don't want their friends who are illegal immigrants to be deported. They just don't humanize people who aren't their friends. That's one of those things. When you identify with your real name, you're giving me the indication that you're honest and human. Like Tristram here, I know who he is. He showed me his face and his real name. Tristram, Jesus says, "Go and sin no more." Yeah, yeah, but he also says that sin is inevitable. Repentance is 100% reality. Did I not say that? Fade. If you do not present yourself honestly, you dehumanize yourself.
He says repentance is a false gospel, but Jesus told us to turn and sin no more.
It's a complicated subject.
Repentance is the mentality of you turning away from what is sin and running to Jesus Christ to get you out of it. It's not very complicated at all.
Well, but I mean, it's like, why do you go to church and repent? it's one of those things. This man was talking to my father, and he said, you know, you go to church every day and you repent and ask for forgiveness. Why would you do that? And the guy says, well, I mean, you took a bath yesterday. Um, you got to take a bath today. Why is that? And the answer is because you got dirty again. So that's the thing about sin, is that there is an inevitability to sin. XY says Counter Strike. Go B.
Yes, Richard.
Always B. What does that mean? Go B. Hebrews 10:14. For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are
So, Richard, in the game,
sanctified.
there's two bomb sites. If you look, here's bomb site
Bomb
A,
City.
here's bomb site A, and over here is bomb site B. And usually you go to B.
Okay, so that's what that means. That makes. What are you guys doing back there? I know it's something bad.
Speaking of Richard, I have a question for
Hey,
you, buddy.
CT.
Shoot.
I got a question for you, Richard. What gaming chair should I buy?
What gaming chair should you buy? Um. Well, I mean, if you were in California, I would say get a gaming chair with a headrest that has mesh. But you're not in California,
What
so he.
brand or what style?
What's that? I mean, be flatly honest with you, bro. Most of those gaming chairs are garbage. I mean, I should know because chairs break under me easily. Caleb, has Foo Fighters shown up today? No. The gospel saved. It's 11 p.m. for me, Mr. Richard. Then, thank you for being nice to me. I have a great stream and day night. Not sure what you mean there, gospel, but I'm thinking you're telling me you're going. Fade. I quote the Bible too. Ezekiel 23:20. Easy to read version. Remember her lover with the like a dog. Okay, Fade. I don't think that's a direct Bible quote, but I could be wrong. Caleb, good. I didn't know someone of your age could be into video games. Oh, this is Tristan. Tristan in the background here, and he's playing Counter Strike. I mean, I've actually been considering, like, one thing I might do is do a live stream where I play StarCraft, which is a game where, you know, it's kind of slower, like the original StarCraft, so it wouldn't make my computer freeze out, and just try to stream the whole game because people have done that. I mean, it would. That's 24-hour stream idea.
How's that long?
What's your fave COD game? What? What's a COD game?
No! Bomb's mid, bomb's mid. COD is Call of Duty, Richard.
Oh, I have no particular favorite Call of Duty game.
Where's bomb?
It was
Yeah,
mid.
I have never played Call of Duty.
Oh, he's dead. It looks like he's got mid.
Could be cat, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's going on. Hey, you guys,
Small. Small.
you guys follow Richard, man. Y'all go watch his YouTube, watch his live, watch his videos. He's got his channel. He's a cool YouTuber, man. Y'all follow him. I know y'all are in here for his lives, and it's dope, and it's fun talking to all of y'all. And but y'all go get his watch hours up. Y'all get his likes up. Let's get him monetized. He's a cool dude.
Caleb, did you grow up playing Nintendo 64, 007, James? No, I definitely did not play that. I never, don't know if I've ever played Nintendo 64. Look, I'm what we call an old person. The first video game system I played was an Atari. Like the first one. The one that got killed by E.T. I am 10 subscribers or 20 subscribers away from the 1,000 point, but still more than 2,000 hours away from monetization on this channel. Caleb is laughing that I played an Atari. I never owned an Atari, I just played one.
Hey, we can't get. Oh, get out of here! There's no way you passed me by 1 kill. Get out of here!
The good EDR diamond close to me. Get out of here. What are you on about?
Look at. Okay.
Hey, I told you to keep it warm for me. I told
Caleb,
you to keep it warm for me.
people who grew up playing Atari grew up at a time when weed was considered a hardcore drug because fentanyl didn't exist.
I'm in the server?
Yeah.
You're an idiot. You're an
What are you
idiot.
talking about? I've been ahead of you even when you had more kills. Hey, take a sloppy second. Number one spot is mine. What? This time my last one. This past one should have been the last one. Here I am.
Fade. Bible seems fine with baby murder.
You want me to cancel?
Again, Fade. You know, I cannot speak for the Bible of the Gentile. You know, I knew people who needed spiritual guidance, so they were believers in the Bible, and they therefore believed, you know, if I referenced the Bible, it gave them strength, it gave them comfort. So whether you believe it or not, I still used it for good. That's why I know about the Bible.
How many deaths you had? Okay. What's your ADR? Okay.
Caleb, I'm guessing you're the generation that popularized calling weed wacky tobacco. Um, yeah, that was a thing with us, but it was never common. I mean, in my high school, everybody called it pot. And there was that song, you know, it's like, there's supposed to be some words here, but I forgot them because I smoked too much pot, 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 pot. And then I knew this guy, his name was Ramirez, and we all called him Mr. Potato Head. And every now and again, someone would call him Stoner, and he'd be like, "No, I'm Tweaker, I'm Tweaker." But no one actually believed he did hard drugs. I mean, we all thought of him as the baked potato, man. Fade. Men, the mothers and children, but do not touch anyone who has the mark. Began at my sanctuary, so I began with the old men who were in front of the temple. Fade. You know, I'm not even that religious. Religious people show up. I've done some reading. Caleb. Camilla or Trump? Well, I mean, you know, if one were to show up at my door, I'd hope it would be Camilla. I don't have a Harris impression, unfortunately. Although my Biden impression was always pretty bad, you know. But then, yeah, Biden just isn't a funny guy, you know.
My
He's just
grocery store here.
he's just not. It's not funny to
Got
make
this
fun of
thing
people for being old.
instead of
You
my
make fun of
credit
people for
card.
being crazy. Trump low key looks like a jumbo Cheeto with mustard on top. Yeah, when he was first elected, I said we had our first Cheeto president. I mean, he uses a lot of what we call bronzer, which makes his skin an abnormal color. But if you look at Snooki from the Jersey Shore, she's also orange.
Hey Richard, what do you think about my grocery store here, buddy?
It looks
I
like a
started this game instead of Minecraft a couple days ago. I started the whole grocery store.
well, it looks like a grocery store. I mean, you got some empty shelves there, so it's realistic. What do you feel about Canada threatening that alcohol ban? I mean, did you hear about that? They're gonna ban or they no ban
It's a
tariff.
$2 store in here.
What's that?
So Canada is actually already given up. They're sending 10,000 troops to the border. Nothing is,
No, that's Mexico.
nothing's happening.
Mexico is sending 10,000 troops to the border to stop fentanyl. Canada, I haven't heard much about, but I haven't seen the news today. I've been out of the loop for the last, shift. Dude, where I work, you would not believe it is so hard to get a signal.
No, 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 no. It is Mexico, but Canada did it tonight as well.
Did they?
So the tariffs between yeah, yeah, it happened today. The tariffs between Canada and the U.S. are not happening.
Hmm. Well,
But I wasn't too worried about the tariff on American liquor because the foreign market for bourbon, specifically Kentucky bourbon, is so low. It's such a small piece of the pie. In a $10 billion industry, it's like $300 million a year. It's so small. It doesn't have much effect on the industry itself. So
well, yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, if foreign sales went down, there'd be more product here in America. So you might actually get bourbon at a better price if the tariff did go into effect. I mean, that's one of those things is people are saying, Americans are going to pay 100% of the tariff. Well, I mean, there's still there's still a competitive market out there. So,
hey, they're coming out. I don't know if you've heard of Eagle Rare. It's a bourbon put out by Buffalo Trace in Kentucky, um, and they're making a new. It's usually 10 year and it's 90 proof. They're coming out with a new 12 year that's 95 proof, and it's. I want to try it, but we're gonna have to wait for the years before the price comes down because I'm not paying secondary on a bottle of Eagle Rare that I don't like to begin with. It's okay, but I give it away as gifts. But I'm not paying $150 for a bottle. No, not at
see
all.
see
But I am
there
excited to try that sometime.
there being the thing, Tristan, is that normally when I get bourbon, it's because a bourbon has shown up at the discount market, and it's normally a flavored bourbon. So that's pretty low quality. Fade, which they should be taking care of their side of the border. Can't argue with that. Makes sense. I love how much positive charge has happened under Trump
So
already.
Richard, what store do you shop at? Because here in Tennessee, we can't buy groceries. I mean, we can't buy liquor at the grocery store. We can only buy liquor at liquor stores.
In California, you can buy liquor at the movies. I mean, my movie theater has a full bar now. But here we have a common store called Grocery Outlet, and because of my food blogging, that's where all the weird stuff shows up. So that's where I tend to go for weird. Caleb, camel's catch phrase is you think you just fell off a coconut tree. What the hell is even that? You think you just fell out of a coconut tree. Well, I mean, you could be stunned because coconut trees are pretty tall. Fade, that's the problem with Potato Joe. He was sending more money out of the country, and his domestic energy production crippled FDS. Hmm. You know, a lot of people blame Biden for problems that are worldwide. And on the one hand, the president is the generally thought of as the leader of the free world. And on the other hand, the problems are happening in the not so free world. But then, most Americans don't know what the free world is. You tell someone first world, they don't know what that means.
You know, Richard, let me ask you a question, buddy. Why why are the only birds that we hear about dying in the avian flu that we're going through, the bird flu right now? Why are the only birds that are dying chickens? Or why don't they tell us about other birds that are dying if other birds are dying? Why do we only kill chickens? Is it because we eat so many of them and need to make sure that it doesn't spread? Or is it because they want to cause crisis, division? What are your thoughts?
Okay, the reason avian flu is a thing is because of our domesticated fowl. All right, so I mean, I haven't heard of them killing any ducks in America because we don't eat a lot of duck in America. But the thing is, like, what happened was that a human being gave a flu to a pig, and that pig got another flu from either a duck or a chicken. I think it was a duck, and that's how it crossed over. Okay, so it's like you know the avian flu is a flu that infects birds, but not all birds can actually get sick from it. Just like you know, um, not all apes can get flus that we get. Like you can't necessarily give a flu to a chimpanzee. So it's like, yeah, this is a thing that primarily uh, impacts birds, but it's particularly bad for chickens, and it can cross over to people as a vector, which is why we're concerned about it. Now, we don't really interact as strongly with other birds. Like if this were a turkey problem, which I'm pretty sure turkeys can't get it, they'd be killing turkeys. That's just how it works. But the problem being is you have a virus that infects something that we have a lot of, and they're in close proximity to each other, and their immune system is also compromised because how poorly we take care of them. So it's one of those things. It's like Bill Maher said that we raise pigs in conditions that would make a zombie vomit. Well, that's why we keep getting sick, is because Those unsanitary conditions permit the animal to get sick, and the prevalence of the sickness is what it allows it to cross over to people. Right, Wolfie Wolf? What have you got on your ear, Wolfie Wolf? Caleb, he's the Minister of Health or something appointed
Maybe
by
we can
Trump
rename
now
this
in
cat.
U.S. Crazy Cat
This
Man.
cat, I got him for the staff to pet. He can pet him. And he's got his little litter box. There's another cat in there actually that I did not know was there. Well, we have, this is a staff room now. This is all I got right now. Then there's a little jail cell here with an elephant watching me. You can see the elephant in the back.
You know, they still debate whether an elephant can recognize its own reflection.
What should I name this cat, Richard?
Mm, I don't know. Sunday? Kind of looks like vanilla and chocolate. Patches would also be a great name for that one. Isolde, why don't you come up here and say hello? You know why you don't do that? Because you hate to cuddle. Wolf here is going to get famous and everyone's going to forget who you are.
Do you like cats more than dogs? I mean, obviously you like cats more than dogs, but I don't know if it was just
No, I'm actually more of a dog person, but you do understand I never purchased any of these animals. They just show up at my house. So I've had two dogs show up at my house, and I've had I can't count how many cats. So, but no, I had two dogs, and one of my neighbors poisoned them because my neighbors suck. But no, when I was a kid, my mother actually raised purebred boxers. So my first pet was a big old boxer named Butch.
all like your neighbors are strongly worded, brother.
He's dead. He died in the pandemic. And his son died of an overdose, and then his wife died. So he has no descendants.
Damn.
But you know, it's like my brother had a partiality to snakes, and he never owned one. All right, let's see what people have been saying. Caleb, did it die? My first dog would be very dead by now because I'm not exactly young. Fade elephants pass the dot test. They are self-aware. So are squid and octopus. Mm, more meat on a more meat on a an elephant though. So I mean, if I had to eat one, Caleb, did you see the thing said about JFK Jr., JFK's nephew? Everybody is saying JFK is a nutball. You know, who the hell cuts the head off a whale? I don't think if a whale washes up on shore, it's even considered communal property. You're not allowed to take pieces of it. The government is required to deal with it. So I'm pretty sure that was illegal, although nobody would arrest him for it. I don't know about. I mean, every state has their own laws about roadkill, but I mean, JFK Jr. Easy, sweetheart. Come on, get it out. It's coming. Easy, easy, easy. Come on, I gotta get it out. Right on my shirt. Look at that cat booger. That is just gross. Now you guys know why I keep a towel here. Fortunately, I don't see what I did with my hand sanitizer, but... Pico. Who's your favorite historical figure? I would have to go with Albert Einstein is my favorite historical figure. Dude was brilliant, helped us defeat the Nazis, and he had like 12 mistresses. I mean, that dude got around. Caleb. He's Trump's Minister of Health, RFK Jr. It's JFK's nephew and cousin of JFK Jr. and son of RF. I can't get all the K's straight personally. I mean, I'm going to grant you that having a worm eat part of your brain probably shouldn't exclude you from things, but it's a bad sign. I mean, brain worms. Cook your dang pork, people. We're up to 10 people in the chat. Not a lot of conversation, though. So here's a issue I'm having, Tristan. I have a job application sitting here that I'm supposed to fill out for a job that actually starts today, but it pays like crap. They said it was going to be part time anyway, and it's close to home. I have a job that pays the best paying job of the ones I have is one in the middle of Los Angeles, and they keep sticking me on a swing shift when I want a graveyard. My second job is part time, pays a little bit less, but I mean it's whenever they need somebody, they let me know, and if I can work it, I work it. This job that's closer to me but pays, quite frankly, upsettingly. Should I even bother turning in the application?
Hey, Richard, is my music too loud?
I can't hear
I
your
can't
music.
hear it.
I can't hear your music.
You can't hear the music.
No.
Okay, that's not good.
What do you think you sold? She just sits there, you know? So you and your wife gonna do anything nice for Valentine's Day?
I think me and my wife are going to. Well, she might be awake right now, so I can't really say anything too crazy. But I'll plan. I'll do a little something with her. I mean, we don't have much money right now. With me having this health issue and not working for 12 days, so we're gonna do a little something. I'm gonna take her out or whatever, but it's not gonna be nothing crazy.
And I mean, are we still worried about that, or is that mostly resolved? I mean, you still gonna have to watch your blood pressure.
So I haven't been to the doctor yet, but I spent an entire day. I spent an entire day looking up things that could cause my symptoms. And sleep apnea is the only thing that causes every symptom all at one time. And it being untreated could cause complications like tachycardia, atrial flutters, heart murmurs, and stuff like that because your body is starved for oxygen. So your heart beats really fast and really hard and sometimes gets out of its beat, out of its rhythm. So we are worried about it because I have not done a sleep study. I still have to sleep while we're waiting to go to the doctor on the 17th. But I'm confident that I won't have to take any medicine. I'll just have to wear a CPAP machine. And I don't want to do that, so I'll probably start losing weight here soon because I don't want to wear a CPAP machine. I want to travel, right, to places like the Philippines, the Congo, places that don't have electricity or plugs for CPAP machines. And I don't want to be attached to a fucking outlet, like a leash. So we'll see what the doctor says about the heart monitor. That's
Okay.
important. It could be something else. But I'm fairly certain that it's sleep apnea. Um, I'll probably start losing weight regardless of the outcome of the doctor's visit and the sleep test and everything. Because one thing that causes sleep apnea is being overweight, and then the pressure from your overweightness in the nighttime closes your esophagus. Like you just when you relax, it closes your airway. So
Oh, I'm familiar with the
we gotta
condition. My
we gotta
brother
focus.
has sleep
We gotta
apnea,
focus up. I'm not
or
running
had anyway.
around leash my whole life.
Okay, so Caleb, like, why would Trump make his Minister of Health? Oh, right, because they were both at Epstein's Island and Diddy parties, and lucky Kamala didn't get elected because she was at the Diddy parties too. Caleb, that has been debunked. She was not at the Diddy parties. I will say, I mean, Chick is pretty good looking, actually. Camilla Harris is an attractive woman, but she did not go to a Diddy party, so far as we are aware. There's no proof she was ever there. Fade. Big old citations needed there, bud. Okay, Fade, we have a number of photographs with Trump and Epstein. The two men appear to have been friends. That does not prove that Trump went to an Epstein party. Okay? Doesn't prove any, just proves they knew each other, and as Epstein probably had a lot of friends who were also friends with Trump, I mean, don't go convicting people based on circumstantial evidence. That's a thing. Although, um, you know, just being friends with somebody who does unsavory things, most rich people do unsavory things from time to time. Obama was at the Diddy party. Where are you getting this information, Caleb? I don't think Obama would have been that cool, quite frankly. Okay. Adele Alcied, are you an American? Don't I look utterly American? The only way I could look more American right now is if there were a bald eagle perched on my shoulder and I were eating a hamburger. Hey, Tristan, I think you got me up a little too high. I can hear an echo.
Hey, Richard, I'll be back right quick, buddy. My wife just woke up.
Okay.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh, man. I'm trying to figure all of this out. I'm just going to mute it. I'll be back. My wife just woke up.
Okay, dude. Caleb, I seen it on the dark web. Just because something's on just because something's online doesn't make it true. Recommend an anime to watch, please. My favorite anime is Robotech. I'm old, but I am also old. I mean, Appleseed. Uh, Another good one. Caleb, just because you see footage of it doesn't make that real either. It's probably what we refer to as dip or deceptive imagery persuasion. Okay, yes, Fox News said that it happened, therefore it must not be true. Edel Elciad, do you believe the Earth is flat? No. Only stupid people believe that. NASA checked, the Earth is not flat. If the Earth was flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it already. Earth is flat. Do people actually believe the Earth is flat? I mean, it sounds like it's just crazy. It's like those people who believe that birds aren't real, they've been replaced with drones. If the Earth was flat, then, wouldn't we see the sun disappear at a certain point rather than, slowly go away? Oh, it's almost 2 in the morning. Caleb, it's almost 4 in the morning here. Where are you again, Caleb? Mm,
What's up, Richard? I'm back, buddy.
It's another day in paradise.
Hey, do you work tonight? Today, I guess. Not tonight. Do you work today?
Yes. I mean, I may wind up having Monday off, but I don't know. I mean, it's you
Oh, you
wouldn't.
work all week this week, huh?
Well, I have two jobs. You would not believe how much work my house needs. So I'm going to be doing a lot of it. Caleb, who did you vote for, Kamala or Trump? Caleb, I live in California. We voted for Harris. Being seriously. Not that
You're
I'm.
not gonna believe this, man.
Hmm?
You are not gonna believe what happened.
What?
Actually,
What happened? You did a triple headshot?
no. That would be dope. But so you know that thing that we made together on stream that took 7 hours
Yeah.
at Mom Farm?
Yeah.
Well, I got some malware on my computer and had to do a factory data reset.
Oh.
And I didn't realize that the factory data reset or that Minecraft only shared locally, saved locally. So when I reset the computer, I lost every file, which means if you see here, there is zero saved files, which means I have lost everything that I did.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Does not sound fun in the least.
I've been hesitating starting it up again because I don't want to start from nothing.
Well, I mean, if you don't start from nothing, then you don't do anything. Okay, so Grizzly Bear asks, "You believe in trickle down theory?" Um, yeah, trickle down theory. The rich get all the money, and then a little of it trickles down. Trickle down theory has been thoroughly debunked. No president in history, at least before Trump was elected, had ever cut taxes as much as Ronald Reagan. No president in history had ever raised taxes as much as Ronald Reagan when he saw what a terrible idea that was. Caleb, California love, music, music, music. California knows how to party. California knows how to party in the city of LA, in the city of LA. We party a little too hard in LA, quite frankly. Do you believe in theory of life forms on other planets and other dimensions and other galaxies? Okay, other galaxies are confirmed 100%. Other dimensions is just a mathematical theory. Life forms on other planets are almost a mathematical certainty. Uh, Jessa Palmadessa, do you like fish, tuna, or salmon? I'm more of a salmon fan than tuna. I will eat tuna. I mean, yeah, I prefer yellowfin in the world of tuna. I mean, when tuna goes on
Hey,
sale at
Richard, did you
Costco,
see?
when tuna goes on sale at
Did you see the
Costco,
new update stuff for Minecraft?
what's that?
see the new update for Minecraft?
No, can't say that I did. But yeah, I mean, when Jessa, when tuna goes on sale at Costco, I tend to
Sir,
buy it, then
what?
have it with my cats.
You go ahead and talk. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, no, I finished my statement. What were you saying about your Minecraft?
There's such a delay that having a conversation seems sometimes hard. Like we have to pause and stuff. I wonder if there's a way that we can figure out how to get rid of that delay sometime. Maybe we can work on that sometime.
I don't know. I mean, there's a way you can just be part of the chat. She retracted her
Oh,
message.
for real?
Caleb, did you? Oh, she's back. No, never mind. Okay, so Jessa is a big fan of Caleb. Jessa, I've never heard of you before, so no offense there. I don't know who you are. Apparently, you're a pretty big YouTuber, though. If I'm looking at the same
That's Caleb's
channel,
girlfriend, dude.
what's that? That's who? Whose girlfriend?
Seems to be Caleb's girlfriend.
Well, then, I mean, I'm seeing 114K followers for no, that's Jessica Palmadessa. So different person maybe. Hmm.
Richard, what do you watch on YouTube? Being a YouTuber and all, you got to spend your time on YouTube a lot. What do you watch?
Mostly the news.
We watch you.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen my blog, Richard's Daily Quote? Jessica keeps re- Jessica keeps retracting statements. What's up with
I
that?
have not. I'm sorry.
Huh? Okay, so yes, keeps retracting statements. Don't know what's up with that. But if you look at Richard's Daily Quote, you'll see a lot of quotes from movies, but you'll also see that I commonly quote John Oliver. I watch him on YouTube. There's Seth Meyer, Jimmy Kimmel. Those are common ones. But I mean, lately I've been watching primarily the news. I was once subscribed to a whole lot of movie folk, but I mean, movie folk, all the famous ones don't want to talk to me, and so the only famous person who reviews movies on YouTube that I still watch is Jeremy Jones.
Two truths and a lie. I'm going to tell you, you're autistic. That's the truth.
Well, I mean, it's possible he could have flown a helicopter before being in a wheelchair. But I mean, if he's in a wheelchair, you need your feet to fly a helicopter. Is that you, Skittles? Or is that Kit? Either way, you're stinking up this room. Do you have to use a litter box when I'm on live stream?
Oh, dude, I'm in the same room as my cat's litter boxes, and sometimes they use them. And it's just gross.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how such small things can hold in such massive stink.
Well, um, stink can surprise you. We always ask how my sister could hold in so much massive stink because, I mean, like entire trees would wilt, but she could do it. Reminder I'm 14, so choose wisely. Okay, if you're 14, you did not pilot a helicopter by yourself, Caleb.
I think it's you're autistic, dude. That's what I think. I
You
think
think that's the
you're
lie that
small.
he's autistic?
I think that's the truth. I think the truth is he's autistic.
Yes, well, uh, okay, the youngest helicopter licensed helicopter pilot, the record is 16. So, going by that logic, he would be autistic and in a wheelchair. But then I'm pretty sure being autistic, you can't. I mean, if it affects your motor functions, you can't fly a
What a
helicopter either.
retard.
What's that?
I'm joking. I say retard. I don't know if you approve of that or not, but I say it all the time.
Eh, you know, bro, people say that the word midget is offensive now. Yes, Caleb says correct. I did not fly a helicopter.
Oh,
See,
I
that
say
was.
midget all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, why is that offensive? It's one of those things, if you keep. If we keep making. Like, somebody from Australia said that calling someone an aborigine is offensive. And it's like, but that's what an aborigine means, the first person to live there. The aboriginal
And
people
what
are
the
the.
fuck else we're supposed to call it, man?
I don't know. Natives?
There's a bunch of white people that are butthurt for other people that are not butthurt. It doesn't make them. Oh, you're supposed to be offended to them. Why? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Someone asked me the other day if I got offended by the word hillbilly. They asked me if I was. Oh, no. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Your opinion doesn't mean anything. I
Well,
give zero shits what you have to say.
it's like my grandmother said that, in her day, the N word was just what you called a black person. That's just what you said. And she's from Canada, or was from Canada. It's like it wasn't considered derogatory.
I'm not gonna say anything about that. I think I'll get in trouble if I say
Well, I mean, that's what she said. And it's like, my brother found it offensive when I used the word Negro. You know, but I was quoting a National Geographic article that used it because it was from very long ago. But it's like, I did work at a place where you had to use African American. That was the standard, and while I was on duty, that's what I had to say. And I was even talking to a 911 operator once, and they were asking about a person, and I said they said black, and I said African American. But once again, it's like I was working at a
Well,
homeless
let me ask
shelter.
you a question, Richard. How many black people in America are from Africa?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question, isn't it? I mean, humanity came from Africa. We are an
How
African
many of them are
species.
born in Africa?
I don't know. I mean, I've met quite a few.
Not enough to be calling them all African Americans. They're all Americans. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, the correct term would be um, American of recent African descent. Okay, because as I say, humanity comes from Africa. The Garden of Eden is in Africa. Upper Africa, certainly. Middle Eastern Africa, but that's just that's just what it is. And even then, when you read the Bible, when Cain is banished into the land of Nod, you know, he talks about any man who sees me can kill me, and it's like, okay, so there had to be other people. If God made Adam and Eve, He apparently made other people as well who were not Adam and Eve because there were people in the land of Nod.
No, God only made Adam and Eve, I think.
Okay,
He
but
made,
it's so then who are the tribes of the
I
land of
think Adam and
Nod?
Eve had a lot of babies. I think they were spitting them out every 9 months.
Well, okay, do understand though that Adam had a first wife. Eve was his
Because
second.
there wasn't any pain in childbirth back then. Like until they, well, no, that's not true. Because Adam couldn't find a helper. The Bible says he could not find a helper. Eve was his helper, the mother of all things, rib of my rib.
No, Lilith was Adam's first wife. Look it up. It's a thing. And she begat monsters.
No, Genesis says Eve.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm talking about an older document than the Christian Bible. Fade says the Bible isn't factual historical document. Do you think Star Trek is a documentary too? Fade,
That's why it's called faith.
there you are.
The Bible requires faith, obviously.
Caleb, you'd think Eminem would have been canceled by now. He said the N word more times than I can count. Dude, I don't know anything about Eminem other than I would bang his daughter, who's grown up now and hot. Uh, I mean, he's a guy that raps about first world problems.
uh,
But last time I saw a picture of her, she was hot. I'm not really a big fan of rap. I've heard a few of Eminem's songs, but I don't pay much attention to him. Caleb, you'd bang Haley. She's like 20. That's legal. What's wrong with that? I mean, assuming she'd be into it, I'd sure as heck bang her. Not saying like I wouldn't want. I mean, she'd probably not be into me, but I'd probably be into her. The age difference makes that creepy. Why? Why does the age difference make that creepy? Now, I'll grant you, like when I was 30,
No, it
and
doesn't. Don't let them talk about you like that. Who cares? You're both adults.
yeah, I mean, I'm 45, Caleb, not 49. And once again, if she's into me, she's into me. It's not the strangest thing that's ever happened.
Richard, you keep saying that's not the strangest thing that's ever happened. What is the strangest thing that's ever happened?
Depends on what context. I mean, from a sexual standpoint, I think probably the strangest thing that ever happened to me when I was working at a homeless shelter, and some chick said, she wanted to prove a thing had happened, pulled down her pants, wasn't wearing any underwear, and showed us all a bruise on her leg, and showed the entire group her business there. And it was very clean shaven. She must have shaved recently because that was the smoothest business I have seen in my life. But I mean, that was a really strange situation. Fade, your namesake character there has done much creepier things than be old enough to be the father of the person they slept with.
Has done much creepier things than be old enough to be the father of the person they slept with.
Caleb, I do not know the age of the woman who showed an entire room full of people her business.
Caleb, I do not
I would
know the
I
age
would say she was probably in her 40s, but then she lived a hard life, so she could have been 25 for all I know.
Was she on drugs, Richard?
I don't think so. I think she was just a sex addict. I mean, given the time of day, it's unlikely. Given the time of the month, it's unlikely. Given the circumstances, it's unlikely. But I mean, like there were a lot of people amongst the homeless, in fact, who are just they just can't get enough. I mean, like, I knew there was one woman that actually had a device to exercise her business because she wanted to be strong down there, and she loved to wear see-through panties, and she had a terrible rash though. So I mean, I would have gotten anywhere near her, but if it weren't for the rash, she would have been a very attractive woman. And I even told her, what you need to do is just put makeup over that thing and become an influencer, and just do lingerie hauls. People will eat that up. But it's just when you deal with the homeless, some people are stuck on crazy, and I mean it's just you do meet people. You meet women that come on to absolutely every man they meet, you know, and you meet women that have 30 boyfriends at once. That's what dealing with that slice of life is. It's very disturbing. You have to have a really strong constitution to be able to know what's actually going on and not want to get sick. Fade, if you don't want to be referred to as Fade, change the name on your profile.
Richard, you ever had sex with a homeless woman?
No. I can definitively say that I've never banged a homeless person, at least while they were homeless. Some of them may have been homeless before or after that, but never banged a homeless woman. I mean, you lose your job if you do that, right? When you're working as a security officer.
Only if you get caught.
You know, in all in all of the homeless women that I've known, there were maybe two of them that I would have actually liked to have known better. Um, and one of them was quite younger than me. The other one was quite older than me. But I never made a move on them while on duty. The older one, I tried to look her up after I was no longer working at the shelter because she had said she wanted to be friends anyway. So like she's nice enough person. But that just never materialized. Fade. I don't have a problem with being called Fade. I like the name. That's why I picked it as a screen name. That doesn't mean I'm a fictional character like you keep implying. Fade, those are jokes. Your inability to distinguish between a joke and reality is somewhat disturbing. I mean, I've met people like that before, and they're not exactly people you want to spend time with. But so long as your profile is going to be Fade, I'm going to make Fade jokes about you.
This conversation is funny to me.
Huh? Hmm. Yeah, someone asked me the other day what my favorite ice cream was. Fade is having an identity crisis, I think.
Hey, Richard, you ever had these?
Had what are they? They look familiar. I can't see the whole package. Lower it a bit. Bring it down. No, I don't think I have. Pico.
Well, we
Si-
found them at Kroger just the other day, and they're not really worth the money.
mm,
It says that they're blazing buffalo ranch, but they don't taste anything like the Cool Ranch Doritos they already have. They don't taste like ranch dressing, and they're not very buffalo. They're just is. It's like it's just a chip, you know.
that's the big problem with a lot of Doritos. They're just, not as good as the original. So, Pico, since you only make money if I like and subscribe, that means I'm your boss. Actually, Pico, that would make you my customer. Okay, you're a customer or a patron of my channel. YouTube as a whole would be my boss. They decide what I can and cannot make, but it's like do understand it's like the concept of tipping. Tipping in America became a thing because racists didn't want to pay their black help. So their black help worked for tips. Their people tipping them were patrons, and their boss was the person letting them work there. Fade. I don't mind joking, but that's not what you're doing. You lack self awareness. Fade, really. To a point I've never seen in any other human except maybe young Earth creationists. Fade, when you look at somebody else and you see that they lack self awareness, it's probably because you lack self awareness. The faults we see in others very often tend to be the faults we hate in ourselves.
Very philosophical.
It's actually a concept in psychology. So it's part philosophy, but it's something that people have done tests and examined very thoroughly, and said that yeah,
Okay, Richard, here's a philosophical question for you. You ask a lot of them. Let me ask you one. So there's a paradox in philosophy, all right?
okay,
And it's, let's say you have a brand new ship, okay, brand new boat, all right? And over 20 years, all right, you've replaced, the deck screws,
it's
the
called the Ship
engine,
of
the
Theseus.
transmission, the
Let me
propellers,
give you the short
the body of
version.
the ship, everything.
Tristan,
Is it the
Tristan,
same
Tristan,
ship?
Tristan, Tristan. Let me give you the short version. Okay, this guy buys an axe at Home Depot, right? Okay, a couple weeks later, he kills a zombie with an axe, but it's a zombie, so it may or may not stay dead. He's chopping wood with the axe and he breaks the handle, and then he replaces the handle. A couple weeks later, he hits a rock with the axe and busts the blade, so he replaces the blade. Okay, so then a week later, the same zombie resurrects and sees the dude and says, "That's the axe that killed me." Is he right? Technically, it's a completely different axe. Okay, same thing with Ship of Theseus, because the ship was made into a museum, and over time, pieces of the ship were removed so that not a single bit of the original ship remained. Is it still the same ship? Technically, pieces of the same ship microscopically remain, but if you took all the pieces that were
I think it
replaced,
matters if something is named. You know, I think the name matters. I think the name is important because the name is an investment. It's an emotional investment, a mental investment. You know what I'm saying? It means something.
someone just watched WandaVision, lol. Did you watch WandaVision? Because I didn't. Joseph M. I'm
I've never seen
calling.
WandaVision. I don't even know what that is.
It's a Marvel property. Joseph M. I'm calling you Big Mac. Okay, because goddamn. Um, be nice to us fat people, Joseph. One of us might eat you.
Oh, Big Mac.
Hmm.
Can I be the special sauce, Richard?
Okay, this conversation got weird. Joseph M. I just know you have good Peter Griffin voice. I can't do a Peter Griffin. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, that's one of those points is that like there are aircrafts in the United States military that over the years their parts have been replaced and upgraded so that not a single bolt from the original craft is still there, but it still has the same designation. So technically, it's the same craft. But one of the bigger questions to that, the Ship of Theseus question, is what difference does it really make? You know, the oh dear. Do you remember Tristan, the saint that had his hand
To be
chopped
honest
off?
with you, Richard, I think philosophy is a bunch of people that look too much into language and try on purpose to misinterpret the language that they speak or the language with which the question was asked. I think it's someone being purposely hard headed and dumb. That's what I think philosophy is.
Well, you're talking about common philosophy, all right? Common philosophy is indeed that. You know, if you start going into like Socratesian philosophy or um, Aristotelian philosophy, like Socrates, his thing was not to have answers; it was to make you question. You know, and that was kind of those things. But you also have to understand that Socrates went to the oracle at Delphi, and the oracle at Delphi got high, and Socrates said, "Is there any man smarter than me in the world?" And the oracle, being high as fuck, said, "None wiser." And you know, the belief in the oracle was that no matter what the oracle said that was right, it was right, but it's how you interpreted it that was wrong. So just imagine, you know, if you lived in a world where some guy was, I mean, they were breathing gas from a volcanic vent, to be clear. They weren't smoking weed. But just imagine if you lived in a world where there was a guy that would take a major industrial sized bong hit and then tell you your future, and no matter what happened, he was right, but if you didn't believe what he said, it's because you interpreted it the wrong way. So art is a strange thing. Philosophy is a strange thing. Tuber Squad YT said, "Hey, it's me again. Cool, cool." Fade lol. It's not the destination. It's the ship of Theseus. We make along the way. Tuber Squad YT. I hope you get monetized soon. I'm not going to get monetized soon, depending on your definition of soon. I can hear my phone speaker broke, so sorry to hear that. Rusty Dog, Kermit the Frog. What? What's up, Rusty? Are you a fan of gin? But yeah, it's like Socrates. One of the things about Socrates is he went to all the artists and he said, "What makes art good?" And they were like, "You know, I don't know. I just know when it's good."
Richard, you just scared the absolute shit out of me doing that. Whatever that was, that Kermit or whatever that was, you scared the shit out of me.
Well, Rusty Dog said Kermit the Frog, and I made a funny noise. Raw. What do you think about trans people? Rusty Dog. I am a fan of Kermit the Frog. Okay, so trans people are an interesting concept, and one of the philosophies, the religious interpretation of trans people, can go either way. I often speak to Christians and tell them that trans people were put on this world to teach us how to accept what we don't understand. All right? And it's just that, yes, one of the philosophies I subscribe to very strongly is whatever you are, you're a person first. Okay? I don't separate humanity into black or white or Trump supporter or a Kamala supporter or any of those things. Everyone is at their core a human being. All right? So it's like I've had a few good friends who are trans. There's a person that works at the market that I often go to who is a transgender, and they're always happy to see me. They're always in good spirits. And in fact, there was one time when I was working at a homeless shelter, and this big person came in. They were more than 6 feet tall. They had a beard, a very deep voice. And then I looked at the room assignment, and they were assigned to a female room. So I look up at them and I say, "Do you identify as female?" And they go, "Well," so I said, "Look, I'm not trying to be rude. I just need a pronoun for my paperwork." And they said, "Yes." Okay, so from that moment forward, I referred to them as young lady every time they came in. And do understand that if you believe that someone is a transgender, transgenderism is real or not real. If you don't believe in transgenderism, supporting someone's choice in the attempt to find themselves is still the right thing to do, because what you are doing is you are saying, it's okay for you to be who you are. Discover that person. All right? Discover that person. Rusty Dog, what about furries? I don't even want to get into that topic. Now, from a scientific standpoint, the work of Dr. Ramachandran would indicate that the heminucleus of a transgender is different from the body they were given at birth. Okay? The heminucleus is a portion of the brain. Heminucleus means little man, and it is a map within the brain that tells you what your body is. So a transgender, let's just say you have a man and they think they're a woman. What is actually going on, according to Ramachandran, is they have the brain map of a woman, but they're a man. So when you put this person under stress, their body interprets the genitals as a tumor, a part of the body that doesn't belong, a growth. So that's essentially what's going on. And I do not know if there's any way to correct the neurology of the brain to say, look, you've got a dong. We need to tell your brain you have a dong. Okay, I don't know if that happens. But do also understand that we do not. I mean, what should happen with a transgender is that you should be able to put them in what we call a functional MRI, which maps blood flow. Put their head in this functional MRI, and you should be able to stimulate their genitals, and then we would see an abnormal pattern. So, with a regular person, you would see more of the brain would require more blood, and with a transgender, you would see less of the brain requiring more blood. We don't do that testing though. What you have to do as a transgender now, and I don't know a lot about this. In America, I think you need two or three doctors to sign off and say, yes, this person, I've diagnosed this person as having transgenderism, and they can begin the therapy for transition. And then you have to live as the opposite gender, the gender of your choice, for a certain amount of time to see if it really fits you. So we don't take a purely scientific look at transgenders. There are a number of methodologies for gender reassignment that go into play. I don't know them all, but um, I can also tell you that a lot of the transgenders I knew in Hollywood, they were doing it for work. They were doing it so they could be prostitutes. So again, not all of them. I know at least one person who is very confused about their gender, and I don't know why. They've never brought it up with me. And I know another person who, at least as far as I'm aware, does not work as a prostitute, but considers himself female and was born a man. All right, so again, it's a complicated topic, and everyone is built.
Hey, Richard, you got another subscriber, but sorry to interrupt. I just noticed.
Did I? Well, what's it reading for you? Because according to this, I lost one.
It says 980 for me. It said 979 earlier.
Okay, yeah, it's saying 979 for me, but my it's saying 981 now. So yeah. Anyway, I was
Hey, when I jumped in this stream, it said there were 24 people watching this. Did you have 25 people in here, Richard?
not so far as I'm aware. Yes, the furry question is one I just haven't done enough research on. Rusty Dog.
I think Richard would make an excellent furry. So I just throw that out there.
What animal would I be though?
Gotta be a werewolf, right?
I think I'd be a little large for a werewolf. There are these people camping out on the side of the lake, or out on the side of
Right.
the ocean. They're camping on the beach, and there's this local with them. They all got this campfire going, and they're roasting marshmallows, and they caught a fish, and it's
Camping on
roasting
the
on the
beach.
fire.
Camping on the beach.
And then
Sorry, that's
they
funny.
see
That's
this
a joke right there. I
werewolf,
apologize.
right? This werewolf dancing, you know, and he's got his back to the ocean, and the local woman says to the people, goes, "There's that crazy mixed up werewolf again, mooning the bay." Okay, it wasn't that funny.
Hey, Richard, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Caleb put in the chat. He said, "Fun fact: I'm legally a psychopath."
um if that were true, he'd be locked up.
I told my wife that the other day. We were watching Survivor season 24, and there was a commercial for schizophrenic medicine you would take once every 6 months, and it would cure your schizophrenia for 6 months. And I told my wife, I said, listen, that's where we went wrong. Okay, if there are people walking around on a street with schizophrenia and they take a shot twice a year and they think they're better, that's a problem. Those people need to be locked up. They will kill someone.
Most
It will be a
schizophrenics,
problem.
most schizophrenics are not violent. Okay, my brother is the rare case of a violent schizophrenic. Raw, it looks like you know a lot about philosophy and psychology. I would say I know a lot about psychology. I don't think I know a lot about philosophy. Not, I mean, relatively more than the average person. But no, I have a degree. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. So I do know a lot of psychology. And I mean, like, I have a shelf that is overflowing with psychology books. Because I never sold any of them back to the college.
Have you tried to get a job with your degree, Richard? I know you like being a security guard, but would you be open to being like a counselor at a school or something? Get like a steady job, or is there a reason you can't do that? Or
Okay, that requires a master's. I have a bachelor's. Okay, the job I had at the homeless shelter, the first job, that required a degree, and it didn't pay any better than a regular security guard. I also did work for the power company that required a degree, or was at least degree preferred, and it paid 75 cents an hour more than uh, normal the normal worker. So it was, I mean, and it was 100 times the work. So, I mean, to be completely honestly, yes, I could get a job with a degree, but 90% of the
do you still
jobs,
have student loans? Did you take out student loans, or
no, I did
did you
not take
pay it
out
off?
student
Or
loans.
I don't know.
I don't owe anybody anything. Okay, I do not have student loans. But I mean, the last job I applied for
That's good. That's good.
that involved my degree was a part-time job, and it paid exactly what I was making, what I'm making now. It actually paid a little less than I'm making now as a security officer. So that was the thing. I mean, because of the crash of '08, or the crash of the housing bubble, a lot of the jobs that used to require a degree no longer require a degree, and it's just the degree has lost so much of its value. I mean, I don't recommend people go to college and get a degree anymore. I recommend that they use that money to follow their dreams, because it's like I took a lot of classes in theater. I was going to be a lighting designer once, and if I had taken the money, um, if I had taken the money that I spent on theater arts, I could have literally just my cats are causing trouble. I literally could have just purchased a a model theater and designed like a hundred shows and had this big portfolio that I could show people like this is what my designs look like and then apply for jobs that way because in college, as a theater major, they really discouraged me from trying to find work. And it's a lot of college is just them trying to get you to take more classes. That was the thing is like I remember they kept talking about this one math
Yeah.
teacher and they said she was a terrible math teacher and everybody hated her. And it's like, no, the school loves her because she's a terrible teacher. People fail her class, and then they have to take it again. So the school gets to bill you more than once. I personally believe in a no pass. It should be no pass, no pay. You pay for a class once. If you don't pass it, you should get to keep taking it until you do, because you are entering into a contract with the school that they can teach you that thing, you know? And you take aptitude tests, the school is going off those aptitude tests, right? So like if I go to my mechanic and they say I can fix your car for $600, I pay the $600 and I roll out of there and my car's not fixed. The mechanic has to eat that cost. If I pay a plumber to fix my toilet, and they leave the house and the toilet's not fixed, I don't got to pay them. That's state law. So why is it that I go to a teacher and, they don't give me the help I need? I fail the class and then I have to pay the school again. That doesn't make any sense. Now, do understand the school has the ability to say, you can't go here. The law does not make them accept anyone. So they can kick you out. So if you're the guy that's always failing, they can kick you out. They can get rid of you and say, no, you're costing us too much money. So asking a student to pay for the same class twice, I think that should be against the law. Petroid, have a good day, Richard. Do not worry about the future or the past. Life is
I think
not.
higher education is really, 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 it needs an overhaul for sure.
Well, um, Petroid, genuinely hope you have a good day despite being
I don't think they should be.
Jewish
I don't think
supremacist.
they should be private. Sorry, read the chat. My
No,
fault.
I read it. I read it. I was just laughing at it. Don't know what gray hearts mean, but yeah, there was a comic I wrote, you know, and this person is saying to another person that says, um, they're trying to get students to graduate college in 4 years, and the person says back, let's just focus on having them learn something while they're there. So I don't have a lot of faith in the educational system. Raw. So then I'll ask you, I've lost my ambitions after 2 years of losing my feelings. Gradually I want a therapist and it was of no use. Like now it does matter if I accomplish things I once was dreaming about or die tomorrow. It's basically the same thing. Raw, I don't understand. I mean, I will tell you this much. Therapists are no more helpful normally than a true friend. Okay? Because most of them are stupid. And I mean, I've gone to a lot of therapists in my life. Therapists tell me that they're surprised I'm dysfunctional given what I've been through. Okay, and I've seen some shit. And I can tell you, most of them don't evaluate people as an individual with unique problems, but they evaluate people as if they have their problems or the normal problems a regular person has. They don't listen to you long enough. I mean, the whole thing about Freud, Sigmund Freud, who was a bizarre, said that um, therapy takes 7 years because we have to dredge up all the stuff in your brain that is causing you to behave poorly. And his form of therapy was called free association psychoanalysis. So you would go into a room, that's that famous couch, and you would not be able to see the therapist, and you would just talk and talk and talk and talk. And I would be very good at that because I talk and talk and talk. And, after many hours of the therapist writing down everything you say and reviewing it, and 3 hours, 3 times a week of these sessions, so a therapist did not have a lot of patients, they only had very rich patients. They would dredge up all of the stuff that's wrong with you, and then the therapist, after listening to you for years, would interpret your problems. That was Freud's methodology. And Freud is psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis focus on the past and your experiences. And it's a very hard thing to do. Now, if you're asking for, personal advice, I'd need to know more about your case. But I can tell you that if your therapist wasn't helpful, that isn't uncommon. Okay, Petroid. The gray hearts don't mean anything. I'm sending love, bro. I want I went to a therapist. She told me I was schizophrenic. A therapist cannot diagnose you with schizophrenia. That is a psychologist or psychiatrist, my bad, and screamed at me, not very professional. Carl Jung and Freud. Okay. Jung believed therapy would take as long as it should take, and I believe he actually had a boat that he would take his patients out on the harbor with, and they'd be out there in the ocean and listen to the ocean sounds, and that was his thing. He tried to bring his patients together in order for them to form a social support network. So, I mean, Jung was a contemporary of Freud. He came after Freud, and I believe eventually he had a bitter split with Freud. Petroid, that was when I was younger. I know that's a scam now. Okay. Green Dog, why are you up? It's the middle of the night. Because I work the evening shift and I've been on the chat for 2 hours. This is my time. I mean, I try to do this every day. This is my time to do this. What time is it where you are, Tristan? I can't hear you. Petroid, the UK declared war.
Yesterday, did you see where China, their fusion reactor ran for over 17 minutes? Like, the last time I heard about a fusion reactor running, it lasted like 38 seconds. And there's a fusion reactor in China yesterday that ran for 17 minutes, verifiable. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a major improvement. Raw, I was wondering if
Fusion,
it
if
was.
we can get nuclear fusion to work, and fusion is extremely clean. It is extremely safe and extremely clean.
Yes, it
There are
is.
magnetic fields that hold the reactions where they are, and so with fusion, it's different than fission. Fission, it just expands, and like you have to be able to hold that energy in. With fusion, the energy can be captured, and it will sustain itself.
Okay,
It's
so
a very safe. And then one fusion reaction is enough forever. It's enough energy forever
yeah, well, Raw
for what we need.
says, I was wondering if it was a problem with my brain or where can I even get that checked. Raw, I don't know what your problem is, so I can't diagnose it. Raw, it's demons. Yeah, Petroid, it's not. Well, I mean, figuratively, it is demons. You know, if I knew more about the condition, you could be a schizophrenic. Schizophrenics, I mean, it's do you hear voices? Do you feel as if your thoughts are being projected into your head? The thing to do, though, if you're a schizophrenic, you need a doctor. 100%, you need a doctor. Now, to what Tristan was saying, fission fission is when you take big molecules and make them into smaller molecules. And the act of breaking the bonds that hold them together releases a huge amount of heat and radiation. And the radiation is dangerous, but this is a reaction we can control. A nuclear bomb, what happens is you take two radioactive things and you slam them together really, really hard, and this causes their molecules to break apart, releasing huge amounts of energy. With a nuclear reactor, a fission reactor, what you have is control rods that speed up the electrons that bombard the atoms and cause them to break apart, thus generating heat, which we use for steam. Now, fusion is when you take really, really small atoms and bring them together, and that causes the breaking of bonds because you're taking a small atom and sticking it together with a different electrical orbit around it. And what you have, we use hydrogen for fission. When you fuse hydrogen, you get helium, which is perfectly safe. I think even a hydrogen ion, which would be radiation, is still safe. And we actually may have a shortage of hydrogen. So the byproduct of a fission reactor or of a fusion reactor as opposed to a fission reactor would not only be not something we'd have to store away in a cave forever, but it would actually be something we could collect and sell as a valuable byproduct. So that's why a 17 minute as opposed to several second.
This
Uh,
says that the nuclear fusion reactor shatters records running at 100 million degrees for 1,066 seconds.
yeah, I mean that's the thing about fusion.
That's insane.
Yeah, fusion is the heat you find in a star, and finding a substance that can stand up to that heat has always been the problem. So we're trying to build a magnetic cradle to hold the heat in. Petroid, emotions come
Hey,
from
I've been
thoughts.
saying for about a decade now that we should put small nuclear reactors in heavy equipment like bulldozers and uh, um, what was it, backhoes, skid steers, 18 wheelers, and trial because nuclear energy is, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's clean, it's efficient, it's safe. I don't care.
Well, I
I think we
mean,
should.
they tried
I
that.
think we should minimize.
They tried that, but the problem is that those things generate so much heat that like the cab of the bulldozer would be at 300 degrees. That was the problem with vehicles that run off nuclear power is that they run really, really hot. And it's like they had like planes that were designed to run off
I
nuclear.
also think we could take, like, here in Tennessee, we have a ton of nuclear. I think we have two near us. We could take the water that is cooling that, and instead of putting it back into the river, just the hot water back into the river, we could pipe that to houses, and then instead of natural gas or coal heat, we could use geothermal heat. But it's not geothermal; it's nuclear thermal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's theoretically possible, although, again, if there is a leak of some kind, you then get everybody has radiation in the water. It's just understand this much is radiation. There's what's referred to as ionizing radiation, which is radiation that burns you. It's like there's an invisible fire and it's burning you, and you might not see the burns, but the burns will eventually show up. That's what radiation is. And, it cooks you like a microwave. So just imagine you take something out of the microwave and it's all got that microwave texture to it. So that's the danger of radiation. Although, if you look at a lot of where we store radiation, like the problem with storing radioactive byproducts is they get hot. It's like, if they're getting hot, why don't you build a generator that runs off of those? It's like, why do we use uranium and not thorium? But,
You know what's
radiate.
cool though? I think fusion reaction doesn't have radioactive byproducts.
It doesn't, no. Like I said, fusion, the byproduct is helium. And there are radioactive forms of helium, but I mean, again, they're magnetic. So you would just let them ionize something, and what you'd wind up with is just helium. Mistopheles, what are you doing?
So this says that a fusion reactor produces helium and tritium, but
Okay,
the
I didn't know
tritium
about the
it
tritium.
consumes tritium, so it's like a self-propelled reaction.
Yeah, I think tritium is reasonably safe because it has an extremely short half life. Mistopheles,
Correct.
no. Okay, she's making noise. Anyway, dude, I got things to do, so I gotta go. That one of my cats is hungry, and he's making it very, very
Hey,
clear
we'll
that he's
holler at you,
hungry.
Richard.
What's that? What was that, Tristan? I didn't quite catch it.
We'll see you. Are you gonna be live again tomorrow, or I don't know? Are you gonna be live again today?
I'm gonna try to be live again tomorrow. I don't. I mean, I get off at midnight tomorrow or today. So I don't know what my schedule is going to look like after that. I'm gonna start a new schedule after today, which lets me off at 11. But then I may get called into work to my other work and do that. So all right, I have a few more notes in the
Well, I don't
chat
work
here.
again until Thursday morning, so we can do this again.
Baking with Ben, what, like have a tongue? Don't know what you mean, dude. Raw. Really smart and nice. Are you? And Petroid is saying something that would be interpreted as really funny or rude. Doesn't matter, that's a religion thought. Okay, guys, so I gotta go. I have cats to feed. I will see you all next time. Stay safe.
We'll holler at you, buddy.
All right, bro.